Okay, a quick overview on how to install Flutter, which is the new framework from Google we'll be using for the rest of this course. So go to this Flutter install page here and then click on your OS that you're using and select that here. And then you can follow along with these instructions. I've got the highlights here. A couple things are kind of optional. So first you want to download the Flutter SDK and unzip it. So this is a rather large install. It's almost a gig unzipped. Well, it's over a gig unzipped here. So you want to download this and unzip it. It's the new version 2.01 here, and get it for your operating system and unzip it. They suggest um, where to where you might want to put it. So you can just put it in your documents folder or someplace like that on Windows, or you can put it in your development folder or someplace similar to that. You don't want to put it in the programs folder or someplace with special permissions. Because it doesn't need it'll cause trouble. So just put it some location and remember where you unzip the file at. Then you can update your path, and there are instructions in both of these systems on how to update your path. You want to include the Flutter bin. So once you unzip this folder, this will be your Flutter folder here, and there will be a bin folder here with some executables in it, and that's what you want. You want the bin folder inside your path, and that's optional. It just lets you do a couple command line stuff, but we generally won't be doing that. So you can do that if you want, is add it to your path. Also, it then recommends you run Flutter Doctor, and again, you can go in here and run Flutter Doctor. Now, if you put Flutter in your path, Flutter bin in your path, you can just open up the console window anywhere and just type Flutter and then Doctor. If you didn't put Flutter in your path, you have to CD to whatever folder the bin folder is, or run Flutter Doctor off of that. Similar for the Mac, you can run Flutter Doctor, and that will just tell you if there are errors. I would say generally you don't need to do this unless you are running into trouble, and then you come back and do this. So once you have the SDK installed, the next thing you want to do is set up Android Studio, and this isn't covered very well in these documents. They talk a little bit about setting up the emulator and Android Studio, but not about what we want. But we already have Android Studio set up, so those won't be very much helpful from here. So let me show you how to do it. So run Android Studio, and we're going to want to set the SDK location by going to this spot. So now you want to go to settings and then language and framework. So now one quirk of Android Studio, at least on Windows, if I'm here when I don't have a project open, I can go to configure and settings, and it will open up settings, but for some reason this is not showing the full settings. So when I go to languages and framework, Flutter is not available here. I don't know why that is. So, but if I open up a project here for this, and then go to that project, it will show that. So now I just opened up a project, any project, and I just go to File, Settings. And now if I go and look at the languages and frameworks, there's Flutter there. And I want to make sure I specify the path of the SDK here. So you should click on this dot and find the location of Flutter. Like for me, it's in my documents folder, Flutter, and hit OK, and it'll put it up there. So that's what you want to do, apply or say OK, either one will work. Okay, the last thing you want to do is install the Flutter plugin if you haven't. And again, that's back in settings. So if you remember, maybe don't close that window. So go to settings, go to plugins, and you want to find the Flutter plugin here. If you have this click to install, it'll only show the installed ones, so you might have to switch this to marketplace. You might have to type in Flutter here, although it's often on the top list here, and then click on it and just hit install. Mine's already installed. If you have it installed or whatever and you need an update's an option, make sure you update it, because they just updated Flutter to 2.0, and so there's a new updated plugin with that also. So install that plugin. Now once you have that plugin installed, we're going to try to test this out by creating a new app. So what you'll see with your plugin is under new, you'll see a new Flutter project available here. Also, if we close this project and go back to our beginning window, not only create new project, but create new Flutter project will be here. So what I want you to do is create that new project here and look at that. Let me just do that real quick. So I'm just going to create a new Flutter project. Oops, not that one. Cancel. Create a new Flutter project. And again, Flutter application. Give it some name. And again, the Flutter SDK path should be filled in here already. If not, you should locate your SDK wherever you installed it here. Again, same with project location. By default, it doesn't save it in docs, but in the Android Studio projects folder, so you can change that. You don't have to worry about the description necessarily. And again, the package name, give it some sample package name or whatever you want to use there. And right now, we won't be worrying about setting these up, and hit finish. So again, we'll talk more about setting up Flutter and that sort of stuff. Right now, on this machine, I don't have the emulators, don't seem to be working right, so I can't run it. Actually, when I plug in my device, which I normally do, then I can run this Flutter app, and it's just a simple app that you can try out. But we'll deal more with that in the lesson activity this week. So enjoy. Let me know if you have any issues.